Jive talking to BG, 732, 98.7 WFGR. 32 degrees out there. Your WZZM 13 on target forecast does call for a mixed bag of precipitation this week. Nothing too much to speak of, but you could find a slippery road here or there today. Give us a quick traffic update, Dave Cagley.
All right, looking okay east and westbound I-96, the Ford north and southbound 131. No major incidents or accidents so far this morning. Deer roaming about. Be on the lookout for that. US 31 Holland Muskegon. So far looking okay. That's traffic on 98.7 WFGR.
All right, every month we try to feature a very worthy organization to kind of get the word out about some good things going on here in West Michigan that they don't have huge advertising budgets. They don't have the resources to get the word out, et cetera, and so forth. Now, this one, it may have a resource or two to get the word out.
A few resources.
And one of those resources is about 5'2". She comes in a little blonde package.
5'6".
Oh, you're 5'6"?
Give me some credit. Give me some credit.
You're 5'6" and 4-inch heels.
I am not. I'm 5'6". My basketball roster said so.
Okay.
That's right.
In 1992.
Lauren Stanton is in this morning from
That's when I graduated. Don't
92?
be mean to me.
92?
I graduated in 92.
Wow.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing at all. I said.
You're like 45.
Brady Schmidt's doing a pretty good job making sure he's making friends down here this morning.
Of course.
This is something we learned about last year. Let's talk a little bit about more, self, less. Brady, step right up there to the microphone and talk about your how you founded More Self Less.
Well, that's a long story, but one of the primary ways that we did it was one of my friends at the time, this was back in 2010, was going through a really rough time. He had some medical issues with Crohn's disease. His wife went into early labor. So between the two of them, that's basically how they spent their Christmas. So that kind of broke my heart a little bit. So me and a bunch of my friends got together and decided that I just asked him to swallow his pride, let us take care of him for Christmas. And a lot of people found out what we were doing and stepped forward to help us out, and just kind of grew from there.
It's not the easiest thing to admit that you need a hand when it comes to Christmas time, especially, if you're a young guy and you're working and then you get hit with Crohn's disease and then you got all this other stuff going on. That's not easy to admit that you need a hand.
No, humility was, when I made the phone call to him, I just asked him to swallow his pride. I was going through a hard time in my life at the time personally, with some personal issues. So, and going into the holidays here in Michigan, it's always dark and it's a good opportunity to get depressed. So I really needed
It's true. It's a good way to put it.
needed to focus my efforts on something else besides what was going on with me. So it kind of worked beautifully, him allowing us to do it and me being able to focus on that. So pulled us both out of a slump.
And it's kind of grown from there. I mean, it started off like most charity things do. You just want to do that one good turn for somebody who needs a hand, and people grab onto it, and then it kind of bubbles and it balloons a little bit, and it's turned into More Self Less.
Yeah, it was actually at the end of that evening, a bunch of my friends were so excited and we had such a good time. They're like, all right, well, what are we going to do next year? And I was like, well, I was just going to do it this year. And
Just once.
Yeah,
I don't want to. Yeah.
Well, I decided who was I to get in the way of blessing others. So we all it's just myself and a bunch of us friends, and then obviously Lauren, a friend of ours, jumps on board with us, and people like you, and it just continues to escalate. So it allows us to help more people.
Well, Lauren, talk a little bit about how this works. I mean, we've got the link online at WFGR.com, but basically everybody that's involved in this gift-giving thing takes on a smaller project to bring it all together.
Yeah, like for example, when you go online, you'll see there's a lot of items that we want to make sure that all of the kids get.
Right.
Whether that's sleeping bags or shoes. We also do household items and different things for the entire family. And if you go online, you see that I'm in charge of shoes in one of the categories. So I'm kind of trying to get everybody on board to make sure we get all of the kids a pair of shoes. We buy them all in bulk because we know all the kids' sizes and that sort of thing. But we just get people to donate towards specific things, or they can go through and say, hey, I want to donate $5 to a bike. I want to donate $5 to a sleeping bag, whatever the case may be. And you can go online, and that way the entire community can get involved.
Right.
A lot of organizations probably have big companies that might donate money and that sort of thing. And we hope for that too, obviously. But you can also, if you're just an individual and have $5 to spare, you can also, and that way more people get involved and become more selfless.
See how that works?
Yes,
Boom.
I do.
Right there.
I love the idea. And to think that, one of the things that people stop and think is they think, I can't do enough for this kind of thing. I don't have the time. I don't have the money. But this is $5 we're talking about here. And if anybody that's got a PayPal
Even
account,
I have $5.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
Okay, I got $250. I've got $250, and I write a post-dated check. You cash it on Friday.
He writes a post-dated check
Right.
made out to cash.
But it also works in that we have sponsorships of kids.
Sure.
And we've fulfilled that already this year, haven't we, Brady?
Yep. Last Friday, we actually locked that down. So we have direct sponsors that we correlate with each individual kid. And then that they can go provide specifics to them. So we get their ages, size, weights, all that stuff. Heights,
All that
everything,
stuff.
And then they can get specific gifts for them. And last Friday, we locked that down.
This all comes up to a big party that you host as well. Talk a little bit about the party.
Soiree.
That's on December 22nd this year, and it's at the YMCA in downtown Grand Rapids. They have been generous enough to loan their facility to us so we can have a couple hundred people. How many people are we thinking this year?
520.
Yeah, about 520 people will be down there.
520 How many kids?
So there's
200.
around 200 kids, and like I said, I take on a child,
Yep.
and what we find out is through the More Selfless organization, they make phone calls to the guardians at home to say, what do they really want this Christmas?
Right.
So I get to go out, and last year I had a little girl, and I was able to buy girl gifts because I have two little boys,
Right.
and that was awesome that I got to go out and buy little girl gifts. So it's really fun, and I actually get the opportunity when I go to the Christmas party, I get to meet the little girl, and I get to meet her mom. I was able to meet her mom last year and sit down at the Christmas tree, and she gets to open presents, and you kind of see how it all happens.
Yeah.
And different organizations, you might give money, you might give a toy or that sort of thing, but this is different because you get to see them have an amazing Christmas.
Are people encouraged? Can people still be a part of this if they want to? I mean, can you sign up to be a sponsor of a child?
Right now, like I said, we actually are locked up with that.
You're
now,
full.
so
You're full.
we're-
Okay.
Wow.
It's a great problem.
Yeah.
It's a bad problem because when I started this, one of the things that drove me crazy is every time I went to an organization to help out, I was challenged with getting a response.
Right.
And I was basically I was turned away or rejected, and that's unfortunately what we have to do now for people that want to sponsor kids is we have to turn them away, and that is unfortunate because a lot of times people only make one effort to do so.
Right.
So that's discouraging for us. But on the positive note, I mean, before December 1st, we had just under 200 kids directly correlated with someone in our community that has
That's
a desire
awesome.
to help. And typically people don't start thinking about Christmas till after Thanksgiving.
Right.
So that was just an incredible blessing for us as an organization.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, we've got everything up online at WFGR.com. You can go on there, and in fact, I even went to the More Selfless page, and I linked it right to the page where you can make your donation of $5, $10, whatever you want to give, through your PayPal account. It doesn't take much.
Okay. Once again, you got to gesture towards me.
Dave, why don't you use your PayPal account to give him $5?
We should test it to see if it works.
I told you I have $250.
Okay, why don't you use your
It's tied up in.
Why don't you use your
bonds
PayPal
and
account to
stuff.
give him $2.50?
I'll do what I can.
But we're looking, there's bikes that we have to buy for 200 kids.
Oh, are you doing
nearly
bikes again
200
this year?
kids. There's bikes this year. That's the big expense that we have to make sure everybody gets a brand new bike, helmets, you
All
name
that
it.
good
So
stuff.
there's a big long list. So you can help out even if you can't sponsor a child this year.
It's all online at WFGR.com. This is a great thing, and it's what we started the We Difference to talk about. I mean, small groups of people getting together to make a difference like that in the lives of 200 kids. Look at you guys. Awesome.
Thanks.
Thank you so
Thanks
much.
for having us, you
You'll
guys.
find out more at WFGR.com. And I understand you wanted to talk about Dave's
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
odoriferous emanations.
No, well, we were discussing earlier about colognes, and because Andy's got a huge problem with colognes, and I talked about how when I had this Hugo Boss cologne that I always got compliments. Every girl that I dated when I was wearing it said, "Oh my God, you smell so good."
Oh.
And Andy was telling me that those may have been erroneous compliments. They may have been fake compliments. They may have not really liked the scent.
Here's Dave talking about his cologne.
Okay, so my thought is, we had this discussion
Yeah.
earlier this morning. When a cologne is it hits you in the face, poof, you might go, "Oh, you smell good," and then realize maybe since he's sitting next to you for the next 5, 10, half hour, whatever it may be, oh my gosh, that's too strong.
Yeah.
But if it hits you in the face immediately, you're like, "Oh, that smells nice," but you need to walk away.
You do.
or,
But initially-
or tone it down.
That's
whatever.
what I'm saying, because I told him that thing. When girls say to you, Oh, your cologne smells wonderful.
You shouldn't be able to notice it so much. You
That's
should
it.
just kind of be like, oh my gosh, Dave smells good, but I don't know what it is. There's something. Yeah.
What if they say that when they're like leaning in, if they're like really, really close to you, and that's when they say it? Then I would say
If they
that's
say, oh my God, you smell good. If they say it like that,
yeah,
then
breathy.
you're in good shape.
See, there you go. Thank you. That's all I was looking for.
Oh my
That
God, you
hasn't
smell
happened.
good.
It's been a while. But
So it goes
I
like
remember
this.
that. Yes.
So it goes like this. Oh, you smell good. And then you go, want to go back to my mom's? Lauren, thanks so much for stopping in. Brady, what a great thing you've got going here with More Selfless. It's our We Difference organization of the month. We'll talk about it all month, and if people want to be a part of it, just go to WFGR.com. Lauren, Brady, thanks so much for coming in, guys.
Thank you.
All right, More Selfless. Find out the details online.